Webb School. They raced to the scene, but as Channel 11's Linda Carson reports, the pilot was killed instantly.
It was foggy this morning when the small plane took off from Cable Airport about 3 miles east of here. Just minutes later, the pilot crashed into this tree, then plowed into the hillside. The pilot was alone in the plane. He was killed instantly, according to police. The crash occurred on the grounds of Webb School. 17-year-old Scott Austin heard an airplane flying low with its engine sputtering. He ran outside to see what was going on.
I saw this plane approaching from over here from the east, and it seemed to be having trouble. It was pretty low, and so I ran down onto the field, and it came in at an angle, and then as it came in, it flipped upside down, and there was a small hill over here, and it just smashed right into the side of the hill.
Scott ran to help, but the man inside the Cessna plane was dead. Investigators from the Federal Aviation Agency and the National Transportation Safety Board were on the scene most of the day, sifting through the ruins and trying to find out what caused this crash. Linda Carson for Channel 11 News.
The plane disintegrated on impact when it plunged into a wooded hillside. There was low visibility and very dense fog at the time of this crash. The pilot was killed on impact. He was identified as 52-year-old Rance Perry. Perry made his living as an airplane repairman, was on his way to a repair job in Mammoth when that crash occurred. The plane came down on the grounds of the private Webb boarding school, but fell at least a quarter mile away from any student dormitories. And another air crash today
at about 7:45 this morning. At that time, visibility was less than 1 mile. A few minutes later, the plane crashed. The poor visibility required the pilot to radio a control tower for an instrument departure clearance. That way, he could fly using only the instruments on the plane for navigation. But officials say the pilot did not contact anyone. Perry was apparently carrying a number of airplane parts on his flight. 3 propellers were found at the scene, including the one attached to the plane's single engine. Meanwhile, federal aviation officials are sorting out the rubble to find out exactly what caused Perry's plane to crash. Victor Vasquez, Channel 2 News, Claremont.
Continuing their probe into a plane crash near a private school in Claremont earlier today, the pilot of the plane, 52-year-old Rance Perry of Upland, was killed. The single-engine Cessna crashed at about 8 o'clock this morning in a wooded area near the Webb School, a private academy in Claremont. There was no explosion or fire when the plane hit the ground. Investigators from the FAA combed the crash site for the cause and questioned witnesses. Some witnesses said the plane was having engine troubles. The pilot was apparently trying to land in an athletic field near the school, but crashed in the woods about 50 yards away. He died on impact. The pilot was flying to Mammoth Lake when he crashed.